Good Wednesday morning, my dear Christian brother and sister. I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you're in the middle of a productive week, as always. But more than anything else, I hope you're seeking to live your very best life in Jesus Christ. Well, I have a confession to make. I have a tendency to be, as someone has said, a bit insular. I admit it. I have often said that there have been stages in my life when I would have been perfectly okay with becoming a hermit. So I understand folks who do that better than I would like to admit. When I was at my peak weight, I seldom interacted with anyone. I didn't need to, other than the kids I taught, because I felt that my so-called peers were constantly judging me. I never felt that from the kids, and so I relaxed around them and looked forward to those Mr. Miller moments of simply being allowed to just talk to, and more importantly, listen to them. It allowed me to let down my guard a bit, and it was often the high point of my dreary existence at the time. I truly dreaded faculty meetings and directors' meetings because I felt that they were constantly judging me. And I would many times find some reason, any reason, to avoid them. For this reason, as time went on, I withdrew from people, from my family, and frankly, from life. And it was from this bitter, hopeless existence that Jesus led me, a halting, stumbling step at a time, into the glorious light of his love. You see, over time, he used other people, caring Christian folks, to heal my broken mind and spirit, and not only save my soul, but he gave me a hope and a sense of purpose. I now look forward to talking to people, and I find the change not only refreshing, but deeply, deeply rewarding. The reason I mention this is as I'm writing this, I've just returned from our monthly pastor's breakfast with the Clendenin Ministerial Association pastors. And frankly, I had a wonderful time. And it wasn't just because the food was good. It was, by the way. Mama Payne's breakfasts are hard to beat, and Nancy tells me the biscuits were, in her words, wonderful. No, it wasn't because I got to talk shop with others called to the same purpose, and it was not because we exchanged anything of profound wisdom. I can say we just talked about stuff. Politics, the town, Omicron, sick folks, the weather, pretty much the same stuff anyone talks about these days. It was not even because I respect these men of God greatly, even though we all have varying beliefs on many issues. No, it's simply because we're all fellow believers on the same journey, following the same leader, Jesus Christ. We are witnesses and disciples of him, born to a purpose and following his lead. We are of the fellowship. When I started thinking about this, I was reminded of Acts 2:42, where the early believers declare, "We proclaim to you what we ourselves have actually seen and heard, so that you may have fellowship with us. And our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Jesus Christ." We were created for fellowship, not so we can compare ourselves to others, and not so we can judge our success or our righteousness or whatever upon other folks. And we certainly weren't made to gossip and talk about others. No, we were created to fellowship with God and with God's followers. When we deny this, when we decide to insulate ourselves from others, it begins to degrade the mind, the body, and the spirit. It's unhealthy and unnatural. And this is the one thing is one thing, not the one thing, but it is one thing that Christians should never allow. We need fellowship. We need to contact the sick and the shut-ins. We need to attend worship services and Bible study. We need to call folks on the phone and keep in touch on Facebook, God forbid. And we need to talk to new folks so that we can possibly bring them into the wonderful fellowship of believers, into the ranks of the saved. One of the things I'm proudest of in my wife is that of late she just strikes up conversations with anybody and tells them how wonderful God is. I think that's fantastic. Look, COVID has been an eye-opener for many churches as to the importance of simply interacting with people in general and with believers in particular. We need to use these lessons to build up the kingdom. I mean, I heard a minister say not too long ago, there is not a separate but equal in the kingdom, folks. It's all for one and one for all. Fellowship is praying together, hurting together, grieving together, celebrating together, and just being there for each other. It's serving together. It's growing and aging together. These are the fibers of fellowship. Fellowship with God and fellowship with other believers go together. So let's think about that today. Let's renew our zeal for getting together, talking together, praying together, and loving together. It's good for them and it's good for us because as a church we need each other, whether we realize it or not. There should never be any such thing as a Christian hermit, no matter what anyone will tell you. And let me tell you from personal experience that being a hermit stinks. It's miserable. Trust me. I know. I hope you have a fantastic day today. I hope to see you tonight for Bible study, of course. I want you to know that should you need me, I am a phone call or a text away. And I love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.